Get out of my store! You put your hands on me no more.
A heated confrontation at the Subway store on Valley Avenue in Birmingham, and the video later shows this same manager using the N-word. Earlier today, we heard from the man shooting that video. New tonight, you're going to hear from the manager you see sitting down with us to tell her side of the story. To our Josh Gant. Josh.
Yeah, Jonathan, April Epperson claims she used the wrong choice of words that cost her a job, and she's now apologizing.
When that word came out, is that a word you use often?
No. I hate that word.
April Epperson, the former manager of the Subway on Valley Avenue, now telling her side of what she says took place that led up to this heated confrontation caught on video between Antoine Clark and his sister, who was working her first day at the store. Clark says he came to see his sister when Epperson called him inside and told him he needs to get off the property when his sister is working.
She's in training, and while she's here, she doesn't need a distraction that I'm going to need them to, get away from the property or step off of the property while she's at work.
Clark disagreed and says Epperson fired his sister on the spot. Things eventually got even more heated. Ultimately, Clark is forced out of the door, and that's when you hear Epperson use the N-word. She says she felt threatened at the time.
He punched me in my face. I pushed him out the door because that was the only thing I knew to do. I felt like I was in danger. I pushed him out the door. He punches me in my face. And as soon as I shut the door, the only thing that came out of my mouth was and I'm sorry. But it could have been a Mexican standing there. It popped out of my mouth. That's what that Mexican would have got called. That white person would have got called that too.
Epperson was fired Thursday because of what took place. She claimed she used the wrong choice of words that day.
I said the wrong word. I'm sorry for it. I'm taking my punishment, and I'm walking away from it. I get that. I screwed up. I'm a big girl. I can handle it. But I can't handle being called racist on national television over a slip-up.
Epperson says she did not fire Clark's sister on the spot. She apologized several times. She says she even has African-American family members, and she said that what she said wasn't meant to be hurtful. Now, the statement, Subway says, in part, what happened does not reflect the company's core value to respect every individual. I'm Josh Kent, WVRC, Fox 6 News.
This woman here made a complete fool out of herself after she just sat there and said that she's sorry for saying the N-word and apologizing. Here she's saying it again. Like, woman, you is the laugh of the town. You sitting there saying, I'm sorry for saying the N-word, but I didn't mean to say the N-word. You know, woman, you just made a complete fool out of yourself in this interview right here. You really did. Because I'm so sick and tired of people like this woman here always trying to play dumb. They try to play dumb and try to pretend like they don't know that's a bad word. They be acting like this. They be like, oopsie, I didn't know that was a bad word. Oopsie, I didn't think people was going to get offended. Oopsie, I'll apologize for that, but give me my check and let me go. But I'm still sorry. You know, they be trying to play dumb like that. Like they don't know what that word means. Like, what school did you people go to? Like, what did they teach y'all when y'all was in school? Because I'm just curious. I'm just curious because evidently they didn't teach y'all a damn thing about the history about that word. You know what I'm saying? About slavery days. I mean, you mean to tell me that, especially if you're in the United States, you mean to tell me that they didn't bring up Martin Luther King? They didn't talk to you about Malcolm X? You don't know none of that? You telling me that you don't know anything about that? You don't know your fucking history? Like, get the fuck out of here with that damn shit. And this generation, everybody is thinking everything's about racism now. Everything's about racism. And you're gonna sit here and try to pretend like that just slipped out of your mouth. You didn't know that was a bad word. You didn't know that was a consequence. Like, get the fuck out of here. I'm so tired of you people making up that same old bullshit ass excuse. And see, while I was watching that video, you was telling that guy to get out of your store. And then you said the N-word towards that guy. Now, let's get something straight. Even though you don't work at Subway no more, even though you used to be the manager, let's get something straight real quick. That is not your store, woman. I don't understand why when these supervisors give these people the position, say like, hey, we're going to make you the manager. You're going to be in charge of this. You're going to be in charge of that. And then for some reason, these people let it get to their head and thinking that, yeah, this is my store now because they put me in charge. You know, this is my business. That is not your store, okay? You did not invest no money in the Subway, okay? So just because somebody gives you the keys to the kingdom and saying you're in charge of this and in charge of that, that does not mean it's your store. Now, I know as a manager, that's your job, though. You know, if the customer refused to leave, then yes, you get on the phone and call the police. But it doesn't give you the right to call them names. See, me, I don't believe in putting my hands on the customer because I know how customers are. Trust me, I know customers sometimes, they do get on your fucking nerves. They do. And customers are hard-headed. I mean, yeah, I get it sometimes that customers do get on your nerves and they do be talking shit. Because me personally, if I was the manager, if I tell them to leave, I'm not gonna go out there and push them and shove them out the store and shit while they got the fucking phone up. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't risking my life for no fucking store. I'll tell you that right now. And if the supervisor wants to fire me and they be like, hey, why didn't you force this person out of the store? You know, why didn't you stop him from stealing? Why didn't you do this and do that? You know what? You can go ahead and fire my ass. Because all I'm going to do is just get on the phone and call the police and let the police do his job. Because I come there to work to make money. I didn't come there to act like that, yeah, this is my store, you need to get out and this and that. Man, screw that, you know, because our life can never be replaced. Our life can never be replaced. You know, they can damage the store, bust out the windows and steal. All that stuff can be repaired because they, you know, the store, they got enough money to afford the damages. Whatever damages the customer calls or whatever they steal out of the store, they got enough money to replace all that stuff. You feel what I'm saying? But a life can't. And I ain't losing my life over a store. You know what I'm saying? If I tell the customer to leave, I just get on the phone and call the police. I'd be like, fine, stand there like a fucking idiot while the cop come there and take your ass to fucking jail. That's all I'm going to do. As long as you don't put your hands on me. You know what I'm saying? You put your hands on me, you getting fucked up. That's how I look at it, my job. You know, you put your hands on me or you even think about trying to throw something at my ass, you getting fucked up. And I know I used to tell, you know what, I told this one customer one time, and this was a long time ago. I told this one customer, I said, let me tell you something. Do not let this uniform fool you. I said, just because I got on this goddamn uniform doesn't mean you can talk to me a certain way. You think because I'm wearing this uniform, you think I'm some type of pussy or something. Don't let this uniform fool you, motherfucker. And that's exactly what I told that customer. But I didn't lose my job, though. I still had my job. But I was basically giving that customer specific warning. Do not let this uniform that I'm wearing fool you. Because you think I'm some type of pussy wearing this uniform. Because you think because I got my shirt all tucked in my pants and got my belt tightened up, and you're thinking like, yeah, this guy look like a pussy. He's got his shirt tucked in on his job and this and that. Nah, motherfucker, don't let that shit fool you now. Do not let that fool you, because you will get fucked up by me. But you know something? The United States, in my opinion, they need to come up with this law, because my boy Killer, he lives in Toronto, Canada. And, you know, he was telling me about people using the N-word. Now in Canada, he told me that if you get caught saying the N-word and somebody report that in and they point that out to the police, like this was the person that said the N-word and they got it on camera and everything like that, you pay a huge fine for that shit. And that's what Canada does. Canada, fine people for that. They'll hit you up with a huge fine. Now, I do not know how much the fine costs down there in Canada when you say the N-word, but I think the United States need to do the same thing. They need to come up with a law where if you say the N-word, you're going to pay a huge fine for that shit. And if you keep right on saying that shit, it's going to go on your freaking record. And I think the United States need to do that. They need to come up with this law. And I bet you that if the United States start doing that and people start paying fines for that shit every time they go to court, and they got to pay a huge fine for that shit, depending on your income or whatever like that, I think people like this woman here will watch her fucking mouth. She will watch her mouth unless she's willing to pay the fine. Because hell, if I was, I mean, hell, why would I want to go to court and pay a fine all because I call a woman a cracker? And they'd be like, well, you got to go to court now, Judge, because you call this woman a cracker. I mean, I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? I might say, even though it probably won't stop me from saying that, but I will watch what the fuck I say. I'll be like, I better be careful not to say cracker around these people, because all they can do is be about 5 or 10 witnesses out there, and they can tell the police that I called this woman a cracker, you know, this man or a woman a cracker, and they're going to fine my ass for that. I ain't trying to pay that damn shit. If the United States start doing that shit, man, I think these people would be more careful on what comes out their mouth. They need to start doing that shit. Make examples out of these people, because I'm tired of them letting these people walk away. I'm not saying that they should give these people 20 or 30 years in jail for saying the N-word. No, that ain't what I'm saying. But I think the United States need to start doing that. They need to do something to these people. And see, this woman right here, even though she got fired, though, they also should have fined her. They should have hit her with a heavy fine and saying, like, yeah, you got fired, but you're going to pay a heavy fine for that. That's what they should have done. But anyway, I'm out.